All right, I want to ask you about this, Leslie. The Washington Post reports Wednesday on a, quote, surge in citizenship and voter applications from Latinos who are upset by Trump's rhetoric on immigration. Now, it's interesting, this article focused on data from California and Texas, so we're not talking about a nationwide picture here, but, you know, if you're a Trump strategist looking at that, what do you do with that information?
I don't know if a Trump strategist would look at that information.
It's not
That's
something
the
they would
problem.
consider?
No, this is the problem. You know, about 50% of the vote comes from those two states. It's about, I could be a little bit off on those numbers, but the biggest chunk, now we know California is solidly blue, so you could say, well, it's going to have an impact on state elections, but Republicans are almost pretty much obliterated after Pete Wilson going back to Proposition 187 and these anti-immigrant measures that he had for children on food and public education. This is what, and people will say, we don't want to repeat that nationally. What Donald Trump has been able to do is mobilize a lot of these groups and organizations to get people registered to vote as a protest vote. And you're seeing a lot of those rallies too. I think what we saw in California, those were not the immigration activists that we saw 10 years ago that learned right away not to wave the Mexican flags. These were more millennial, very much, you know, nationalist with respect to holding the Mexican flag and being proud of that. So there's a lot of cross pressure on both sides to get people in the fold motivated against Mr. Trump.
Yeah, I mean, so at this point, for the Trump campaign, they're not necessarily looking at that data.
I can't speak to whether they are or not, but my message to the Trump campaign is there is an opportunity, especially among conservative Latinos, who do embrace the idea of border enforcement. We saw that when we went down the border. They like the idea of not having full and open amnesty like Hillary Clinton would push forward, but he has to correct on the tone and be more inclusive, welcoming, and let's see some Latinos and people of color in high-level positions within the campaign. They are certainly qualified. Does he know them? Does he place them? And they will be the welcoming voice.
All right, it'll be interesting to see how that issue plays out. Leslie Sanchez, good to see you again.
Yes.